Hello, hello, Jeff Elvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I wanted to show you a little video on how to connect email lead notifications into your CRM. So we like to use Zapier for a lot of our integrations because it's one of the most popular what's called middleware type of tools out there that connects from one lead source to another to a CRM actually. And some of the challenges we run into sometimes is that not all third-party systems integrate with Zapier. They haven't programmed the code that it takes to work with Zapier. So sometimes we're left without an option to automatically get maybe a lead notification that oftentimes we're sent via email into our CRM. So I wanted to show you how we're able to do that with Zapier. So if you haven't used Zapier before, you'll of course want to set up an account. And once we have an account established, we're going to go in to Zaps. We're going to create a new Zap. So here I'll go ahead and just click on Make a Zap. And let's say I want to do when an email comes in. So when I type in email, you see these are the email programs that are already connected or can connect. So in this case, we want to do email parser by Zapier. And then when a new email comes in, we then want it to connect. Now, what it's telling us right now is we need to actually sign into email parser by Zapier. So the email parser platform is actually separate. It's still a Zapier function, but it's in its own separate interface. So I'm going to click here to sign in to email parser by Zapier. And I'm going to click on I want to log in with my Zapier account. So then it's going to ask, do you want to connect your parser to your Zapier account? And I'm going to go ahead and click authorize. So then it's going to ask me, it says Zapier would like to access your data with the following permissions, and we're going to go ahead and click authorize. Okay, so now my parser is actually connected. So when I go back to the Zap that I was working on, we will see here that it says when a new email comes in, we want to customize the email. So I have to choose a mailbox. Now in this case, I don't actually have a mailbox set up yet, so that's part of what we need to do in the parser Zapier. So I'm going to go to parser.zapier.com. We're going to click on Create Mailbox. And so this says, now what it's waiting for is for us to actually send an email to this custom email address that it just gave us. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I do have a test email set up here, so I'm going to go into my inbox here. And now, again, this email address was actually created for just our account specifically, so nobody else is going to have this. It'll be different for everybody. So now that I just sent that email, we're waiting for it to actually come in to the parser box, okay? And now it has. So what we're able to do here is we're going to configure what fields in the email are we trying to get into our CRM. So what we're telling it, we're kind of doing like a mapping basically. So we can also set up a custom, we can change that custom email address to something that's a little more, maybe that we can recognize. So let's say, for example, you have 3 different lead sources or 3 different email notifications for leads coming from different places. You can actually name the box something more appropriate. So in this case, I'll just do like Ballen test at robot.zapier.com. And then this ultimately is the email address that you will use on your lead notifications, like to put into the lead notification system when you receive those, but we'll do that last. So here what I'm doing is it says highlight the text you'd like extracted and give each one a name. So I'm going to turn this, I'm highlighting this, and I'm going to call this first name. Save. So now it changed it, you'll notice, to this what we call a variable. Okay, so then we're going to go and we're going to call this one last name. Then we're going to highlight email address. We'll call it email. Phone number. Now remember, if there's a cell phone and a home phone and those types of things, we're going to use each one individual. Lead source. So we're going to call that lead source. And then interested in, we'll highlight that whole thing. And then we'll call that interest. Okay, so it also has my signature file, but I don't need to do anything with that. Of course, that's just extra information. So what we're telling it to do is take what's after the first name fields and use this parser to take whatever's in there and put it into our system. So we're going to see where that comes out next. So here under body source and parser engine, we want to pretty much leave those alone unless you have problems, then we can get more advanced. But otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and click Save Address and Template. So now we can go create the Zap in Zapier. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Zapier, and I'm going to reload this so that we have the email in here. Okay, so now you'll see it has my Ballen test email mailbox in there. So I'm going to select that. Again, you may have multiple mailboxes, so that's why we got to go through this step. And then we're going to hit Continue. And we're going to go find data. We'll do test and review. And it pulled in an email that came in. So in this case, it's pulling in the full value of what, any attachments and the different body content. I mean, so it's got a lot of stuff in here. But what we're looking at ultimately is, we'll see this in here too, that it has our template and everything else. We don't need to worry so much about what all of those details are. It's just what we're going to use in our next step. So I'm going to click Done Editing. So then we are going to do this. Now we use Infusionsoft over here. So I want to create or update a contact when information comes in from the Zap. So if I click on Infusionsoft, continue. Okay, so I already have this connected to my account. If this is the first time you're doing this, it'll pop open a box that says, please connect your account. It'll do the little authorization. But in this case, I already have mine set up. So now it's saying, okay, we want to use email. So which field do we want to take for our email? Well, if I click on the box, you'll see these little icons mean it's pulling from our parser. So I'm going to click on the Show All Options. I'm having a little, well, I'll go ahead and search for email. So in here, I'm looking for my actual parsed email. So it says email sender, so I could use that because that's accurate. But if email sender, in this case, was me because I was sending it to myself, but maybe it's from your third-party lead source, so that may not always work. So what we're looking for is the actual parsed out fields that we did. So this has parse output email. So this is the one that we want. The parse output is what we're looking for. So I click on that, and that shows me that this just gives me a sample of what email is going in there. So then if I'm going to set up certain action sets, I can do that. How do I want to check for duplicates? I'm going to look for email. These are all specific to your CRM. So what I'm seeing here is going to look different than what you see. So for first name, I'm going to go ahead and do a search for first. And we'll see here parsed output first name. And it shows my name, Jeff, because that's what I did. And then here we'll do the same thing. So parse output last name. Okay, and then I also had a lead source I did in there too. So if I do a quick little search for lead, you'll see parse output lead source. Okay, so again, any of those fields that we're pulling out, we're able to take a look at and insert those dynamically into this form. So once I'm done with that, again, I have a lot of fields here in the CRM. We hit continue, we hit save, we turn the Zap on, and it should be automated from that point forward. So every once in a while there are some challenges with maybe a system not connecting or a certain application, or maybe your parsers are a little off. So don't get discouraged. Definitely take a look, but try going through this. This is a great way to help automate leads being generated, going right into your CRM so that we don't have to worry about copying and pasting information or doing that extra legwork. Or even better, if in the CRM we have automated campaigns running after they come in, well then this obviously is a much quicker way to get them onto those campaigns. So if you have any questions, by all means reach out to us, team@ballenbrands.com, or you can visit our website at ballenbrands.com.